everyone, and welcome back. It's Gina from orchidandopal.com, and today I am back with another tutorial for a bracelet that is using some pretty common materials. We'll be using some 6mm round beads. You can use Czech glass druks or pearls, some 8/0 and some 15/0 seed beads, and also some 3mm fire polish. Now you can substitute extra 8/0 seed beads in place of the fire polish, and you can also use pretty much any 1-hole 3mm bead in place of those if you want to. And you can see I've got the measuring tape here. The bracelet that we'll be making today will come out to about 7.5 inches, including the clasp. And I like to use wire guards sometimes at either end of my pieces, so I'll be using those today, but you are welcome to finish up the sides of the bracelet however you'd like. And of course, I'll have the full list of materials with the links and the quantities of everything you'll need right down below the video, so you can make sure you have everything you need. Here are 3 example bracelets. The one at the bottom is using some pearls from Eureka crystal beads, and then the 2 top bracelets are using Druk beads in the base. Everything you need though can be found at Eureka crystal beads. They have all these colors and much more, so you can have fun picking and choosing a unique color palette. And for the beading thread, I'll be using the 6-pound test Fireline and a size 11 beading needle. You can switch that up depending on what beading thread you like, and anything from a size 10 to 12 beading needle should do the trick, but the 11 will be a little bit easier to get through some of these 15/0 seed beads. So once you've gathered up your materials, you can go ahead and thread your needle with a comfortable length of beading thread, and then we will jump into this tutorial. To begin this bracelet, we're going to pick up 4 of our 6mm round beads. And you're going to pull these down to the other end of your beading thread and leave yourself about a 4 to 6 inch tail that you can weave back in later. And you're going to take your needle and you're going to proceed back through all 4 of those beads one more time. And then sew through 1 more. That way you're forming these into a complete loop. And when you pull, you have something that looks like this. Next, you'll pick up 1 8/0 seed bead and sew through the next round bead. Do that all the way around your piece, picking up an 8/0 and sewing through the next round bead. And we have 1 more to pick up. We'll go through our Druk bead and come out of that 8/0 that we get to next. So we're going to actually be working on the base of our bracelet, and then we're going to swing around in the opposite direction once we have completed the length, and we will continue to embellish the top. We're going to do one more thing before we start repeating this step over again, and that is going to call for our 3mm fire polish. And as you can see, I have my working thread coming out of this 8/0 seed bead, and from here we can pick up 1 fire polish, 1 8/0, and 1 fire polish. And then we're going to go back through that same 8/0 seed bead that we were just exiting. And when you do that, you get this next little loop that comes off this larger loop of beads. And we're going to continue through the next fire polish and up through the next 8/0. Give that a little pull. And now we're going to add another cluster of these 6mm round beads. So let's pick up 4 of those. You can bring those down. Then go through the 8/0 that you had started coming out of at first. Then head through the next round bead. And now you're going to insert your 8/0s between those round beads just like we did before. So we're picking up an 8/0, going through the next round bead, pick up an 8/0, go through the next round bead, and so forth. We have 1 more to go, and then come out of the round bead. And then we're going to continue through the next round bead directly since we're already connected to that 8/0, but not yet to that first round bead. So just go through that one next. Just like that, and proceed through the next 8/0 and the next round bead, as well as the next 8-0 on the end, so that we can continue adding our length. And of course, next we're going to be adding our little fire polish section, so we want to pick up one of those, then an 8-0, and then a fire polish. Then go down through that 8-0 on the end. Next, go through the fire polish and through that 8-0 on the end. And this is where you'll keep repeating, so we're going to pick back up again with another cluster of our round beads. And you can continue doing that for as long as you want to make your beadwork. The bracelet that I'm going to be making today is going to be consisting of 9 clusters of those 6mm round sections. So I'll need to do that 7 more times, and we'll end on one of those sections. So keep doing that, back up the video if you need to, and then we'll meet back on the other end of the bracelet. All right, everyone, and welcome back. So once you have the full length of your bracelet done, we can go ahead and add on our wire guard at the end. And what I like to do once I'm coming out of this end 8-0 seed bead is I like to pick up one 8-0 and then go through the wire guard, go around the other side of that too, and then one more 8-0. And then we'll just go right back through that 8-0 that we started with. And then reinforce this section by going through it at least one more time and making sure your thread is sitting in the groove. And like I said, you can finish this off without a wire guard. You can just make a loop of seed beads to attach your clasp to, or finish that off in a different way. Now I'm getting a little bit short on thread, so what I'm going to do is go around this section one more time, and then I'm going to make several half hitch knots and come back in with a new thread so that we can move on with the next steps from there. Alright, that's better, and now we're going to be working exclusively with our 15-0 seed beads and our fire polish beads, and my working thread is coming out of this 8-0 right here, and to begin we're going to pick up 8 of our seed beads. Once you have those on, you're then going to go through the next 8-0 that's on the side. And we're going to repeat that 3 more times so that we encase this whole pearl area or round bead area in our 15-0s. So once again, pick up 8 15-0s. And so through the next 8-0. And repeat that 2 more times. And we're sewing back through that 8-0 where we started. And this is what you should have so far, and now we're going to work on the top a little bit. We're going to pick up 5 15-0s. And then a fire polish and 5 more 15-0s. And then go through the 8-0 that's at the opposite of that cluster. Pull those beads so they sit right on top and are centered. And then you're going to pick up 5 more 15-0s. And go up through that new fire polish. Pull that, pick up 5 more 15-0s, and then go through the 8-0 again that's at the top. And you'll notice I went in through the opposite direction so we can complete this little bit of an X pattern that we get on the top so far. Now with my thread coming out of that 8-0, I'm going to continue by sewing up through the next 5 15-0s, the fire polish, and the next 2 15-0s that I get to. Pull that tight. And then you're going to go up through the adjacent 2 15-0s. So hop over to these two and just go up through those. Now you can pick up 5 15-0s. Go through the 8-0 that's on the side that you get to next. And now you're going to kind of bring this all together. We're going to pick up 2 15-0s and then count up to your third 15-0 in this section of 3, which is going to be in the center. And go through that one. Pull nice and tight. And then to finish that little section, pick up 2 more 15-0s and head down through the 2 15-0s in this next row. Just like that. Now go through the 2 15-0s that are sitting in the next row, right there. And you've positioned yourself, so now you can pick up another 5 15-0s. Go through the 8-0 that's on the side. And finish up this side in a way that matches the other. So pick up 2 15-0s. Go up through the third 15-0 right next to it. Pick up 2 more 15-0s. And now you can proceed down through all 5 of those next seed beads in the strip that is sitting above that next little section. Pull that all nice and tight, and you should now have something that looks like this. Now I'm going to proceed through the 8-0 that's on the end, and I'll pick up a 15-0, go through the fire polish, pick up a 15-0, go through the 8-0, and you'll be doing this all the way around that little section. Pick up a 15-0 through the next fire polish, and finally one more 15-0. This time go through the 8-0 and also sew through the next 15-0, fire polish, and 15-0. And then through the next 8-0, which is where we're going to begin our next section. So the next section is going to be a little bit different, and then we're going to alternate the two. So with this one, we're coming out of this 8-0, and we're going to pick up 7 of our 15-0s. And then we'll go through the 8-0 on the side. And similar to what we did before, we're going to do that all the way around that cluster. So repeat that 3 more times. Pick up 7 15-0s. And go through the next 8-0. This is our last one here. We'll go through this 8-0 again. And now we have all those 15-0s around. And we want to proceed through the next 4 15-0s in that next section of 7. So make sure you're not going through that 15-0 on the corner right there, but just go through the first 4 of that section of 7. Just like that. Then pick up one of your fire polish beads and look for the 4th bead in the next section of 7 and just go through that one. You're going to be scrunching these up around the top of the round beads, and this will tighten up as you go. You're going to repeat that 3 more times. So once again, pick up a fire polish and go through the 4th 15-0 in the next section. And you can see how that starts to bring those fire polish in the center in this one. Pick up another fire polish, go through the 4th 15-0. And then pick up one more fire polish, go through that 4th 15-0, which is where we had started. And then sew just through the 4 fire polish that are now in the center of this section to kind of reinforce that a little bit. And pull those together even more. And if you notice that these are a little bit looser than you'd want them to be, like I have a little bit of a gap here where that seed bead is, you can continue on through that next seed bead and make sure that that is pulled into the fire polish. So I went through that and I'm just gonna pull that towards those fire polish again as I go around that section once more, just to make sure that's all tightened up. And I think I'll go through the next seed bead there as well before I finish by coming out of that fire polish. Here we go, that's a little tighter. And then I'm going to go down through these 3 seed beads. And through the next 8-0. And just like we did before when we got to this section, we're going to add in a 15-0 in between each of those beads in that little section. So I picked up one, went through the fire polish, picking up another, going through the 8-0, picking up another, and going up through this fire polish. And one more to add in, then through the 8-0, and then go down through the 15-0, the fire polish, the 15-0, and the next 8-0, so you can start this process over again. So now you're just going to be repeating that process all the way to the end of your bracelet, and you're going to end on a section that looks like this. So just keep alternating those 2 all the way down till you finish with that last section, and that's where we'll meet back and finish up our bracelet. Go ahead and back up the video if you need to, and start from the point where we began adding 8 15-0s in between each of these 8-0 seed beads around the round beads. And then once you get to this end, after you've embellished all of those sections, we can add our wire guard to the other side. All right, and welcome back. This is what you should have so far, and I am coming out of this last 8-0 seed bead right here, and we're ready to put on our other wire guard. So like we did before, we'll pick up an 8-0, and then we'll cross around this wire guard, pick up our other 8-0, sew through that 8-0 on the end, and then sew around those beads and the wire guard again at least one more time to reinforce this section, and make sure that your thread goes into the groove of that wire guard once again as you're pulling. And I'm going to go around one more time. And then I'll sew back through that 8-0 again. And then we'll make several half-hitch knots as we go along to secure the rest of that working thread. And now I'll trim off the excess, and we are ready to attach our jump rings to both sides as well as both pieces of the clasp. All right, so I have one side done. I'm just going to do the other side. I'm going to twist open this jump ring and pop that right on there. And then I'm going to place the loop portion on that jump ring. And then I'll twist this closed. Just like that. And there is our bracelet all complete. And there it is, joining the others in the set. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, feel free to leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you have given this a try or if you plan to give this a try or anything else you'd like to say. Also, go ahead and give the video a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe while you're here. As a reminder, I'll have the full list of materials as well as the links and quantities listed right down below the video. And also feel free to share this tutorial with your other bead-loving friends. I'll be back again real soon. Until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, happy beading.